we've got to move past this toxic politics.
That is amazing. First of all, he asks, who do the Republicans serve? This is the man wearing the Ukrainian flag because they gave money to his kid. So these countries, they have sacred borders, but America's looks like Walmart on a Black Friday.
All right, so what is going on here? Well, this is the Greg Gutfeld Show. They're talking about Biden and the border crisis. And I want to say a lot of stuff about the border. I want to talk about it a lot more. But what can I say? It's bad. Shut it down. Anybody who helps people cross the border is breaking the law, even if they're U.S. citizens, so they should be arrested. I have a solution to the problem. It's a very, very simple solution that would work, but nobody wants to implement that for some reason. I don't understand how these things keep going on. And the progressives want to keep the border open and let all the people in, even though we're seeing record numbers of crossings since Biden took office. He's been terrible for the border. That tells you basically everything you need to know regarding the border. But this is a good segment on the Gutfeld Show. I want to go through it. I think that everybody will appreciate what is said here, and you'll have a few laughs along the way. So before we get started, please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure that you are still subscribed because YouTube does unsubscribe people every single day. You can find me on Rumble, Twitter, on BitChute, at X, not Twitter. I do also want to thank you for stopping by and supporting my work. I do appreciate everybody who takes the time and effort to watch my videos, even those of you who are hate watching right now. Thank you. Now let's get started.
So remember those stories you'd hear about a firefighter who sets a fire so he can ride in and save the day, but instead the house burns down? That reminds me of Joe and the border. He torches the border, and now we're supposed to trust the same guy who started this raging blaze to put it out.
Well, it's kind of like other stuff that Biden has done. He's taking credit for lowering gas prices. He said when he was in the process of being elected, he was going to raise gas prices. It was no secret. And now he drops them, drops gas prices 50 cents after raising them $4 a gallon.
So do we give him more matches and gas or look for someone with a fire extinguisher and a pulse? That's the question Joe Biden asked America yesterday during a speech that reminded me of Winston Churchill, primarily because Winston Churchill is also dead.
All indications are this bill won't even move forward to the Senate floor. Why? A simple reason. Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump thinks it's bad for him politically. He'd rather weaponize this issue than actually solve it. Trump and the MAGA Republicans said no, because they're afraid of Donald Trump. Afraid of Donald Trump. The Republicans have to decide, who do they serve? Donald Trump or the American people? Every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends. Folks.
Okay, so that's all, of course, a lie. Yeah, there might be some truth to Trump wanting to keep the border open so that he can campaign on that catastrophe and be like, look, I shut the border down better than anybody has in recent times, and if you bring it back in, I'm going to do it again. But this bill that they proposed, which you've all probably heard about because it's been all over the internet, $120 billion is in the bill, and only $20 billion of it is going to border security. The rest is going to Ukraine and Israel and some other stuff in there too. But the thing is the reason the border is a crisis, is a catastrophe, is because Biden opened up the border. It's not Trump's fault. It's Biden's fault. I don't want people signing off on this bill. It's not only not a border bill, it's a let's support Ukraine bill, let's support Israel bill. It's going to allow for, what, I think it's 8,500 illegals to come into the country every single day. And that doesn't include the people who come in legally every single day. And that doesn't include the people who come in illegally, but we don't see them come in, or they run away and we can't catch them and count them. So, yeah, I don't want a border bill. I don't want a border law that says, hey, let in 10,000 people every single day. It's fine. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people coming into the country. After 100 days, that's 1 million people. Ugh.
We've got to move past this toxic politics.
That is amazing. First of all, he asks, who do the Republicans serve? This is the man wearing the Ukrainian flag because they gave money to his kid. Who do you serve? But the short-term buzz of this woke posturing inevitably gave way to the reality hangover that was visible yesterday on the president's face. Look at him. It's painful to watch. It's gotten to the point that now Joe just barks MAGA whenever he can't make a real argument. Lucky for him, it's only 2 syllables. Even luckier, Trump is only 1. But it's his answer for everything. But it seems something has finally dawned on Joe. That spiteful anti-Trump tantrum he threw when he took office, reversing roughly 90 Trump-era border policies, has now become the defining feature of his administration. And then there's Homeland Security Director Alejandro Mayorkas. He's failed miserably to defend our borders. So when the House of Representatives voted Tuesday evening to impeach him, it should have been what figure skaters call a slam dunk. But 3 Republicans, these fellows right here on your screen, joined the Dems in voting against what would have been the second ever impeachment of a sitting cabinet official. Mike Gallagher posted on X why he voted against impeachment. Quote, Creating a new lower standard for impeachment will set a dangerous new precedent that will be weaponized against future Republicans' administrations. It will only further pry open the Pandora's box of perpetual impeachment.
So a lower standard of impeachment is, oh, the border is completely open and we're letting millions of illegal aliens come into the country. Millions. That's the standard that we would lower ourselves to. It sounds to me like this is a pretty good standard by which to determine when somebody needs to be impeached.
So you get this, people? Those GOP defectors didn't vote to impeach Trump, didn't vote to impeach because it would lead to the Dems doing it as well. Do we live in the twilight zone, Sir Gallagher? The Dems already impeached Trump, not once, but twice. Did we already forget that? Is Biden's dementia contagious? Does MAGA now stand for making Alzheimer's great again?
Well, look, I mean, this is pretty much par for the course. People have very short-term memories when it comes to social political things. The social things, they tend to remember longer, a lot longer, but social events, they remember wrong, or they forget easily. I mean, does anybody not remember Biden making nonsense statements, which he does every single day? I'm sure there's people out there like, oh no, he doesn't mess up that much. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Yeah, okay. The guy can't speak English anymore because his brain is gone, and it's all right. All right, he's the president. He's the most powerful man in the world.
What an argument. We don't want to hit them because they'll hit us back. Well, then why are you in the damn ring? You're fighting for us, remember? Anyway, Republicans say they'll try their hand at impeaching Mayorkas again, maybe in a few years when our southern border starts at Nebraska. But it's not really about Mayorkas, it's about Joe. We wouldn't have this crisis had Biden not rescinded Trump's border policies and just left Remain in Mexico in place. The problem with yesterday was that it ignored one unignorable fact. This disaster was not occurring under Trump. If there's one thing establishment Republicans love to do, it's lose gracefully. But as they lose, so do we. Cash-strapped local governments are now spending billions for the care and feeding of new arrivals with no work permits and limited job skills and less respect for the law than Ilhan Omar on her wedding night.
I don't even know if that's possible, honestly.
The video of two NYPD cops assaulted by Venezuelan thugs exposes the issue that Dems had labeled racist just for bringing it up. Migrant crime. So Venezuela empties its prisons and we get a crime wave. What did you expect? They broke the laws in their own country and now they're free to roam in a bigger, richer country. It's like offering a free bucket of fried Twinkies and then shocked that Joy Behar shows up. On the foreign policy front, Biden's decided to link securing the border to funding for foreign wars. Now, let me get this straight. Russia's at war with Ukraine. Hamas terrorists slaughtered Israeli citizens. Oh, yeah, Joe, it's Hamas.
There is some movement, and I don't want to, well, maybe choose my words.
Damn.
There's some movement. There's been a response from there's been a response from the opposition, but yes, I'm sorry, from Hamas.
So I'm just saying, man, he can't remember the name Hamas when he's giving a speech, when he's giving an address. I just don't think he's suited to be the president anymore. That's just how it is. He's incompetent.
Quick, somebody get smelling salts and then put them in a little girl's hair.
That's the only way you can get anything done with this guy. Put it in a little girl's hair and he'll see it.
That is so not good. At least he didn't say extreme MAGA Republicans. It's Hamas, you dumbass. It's not even funny anymore, really. I feel bad saying that because this is terrible. But those wars mean America apparently doesn't get a southern border.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I feel for the people in Ukraine. I feel for the people in the Middle East who are suffering these things. I feel for people all over the world who are living in poverty or living in oppression. But we can't bring everybody here. We can't have an open border.
So these countries, they have sacred borders, but America's looks like Walmart on a Black Friday. Of course, the experts will say, look, man, you got to fight the bad guys over there so they don't come here. Fine, I get that. But why not make it harder for them to get in here before they flee from the wars that we are fighting there?
Why don't we make it impossible for them to get in here? I don't see how that's something we couldn't do.
The truth is, the border crisis is like luminol for the crime scene that is the Biden administration. It's detecting blood all over, and Joe's alibi is holding up about as well as the border itself. Thanks to his incurable TDS, Joe has managed to make our border as incontinent as he is. Can he stop the flow at all?
As incontinent as Joe? I mean, the border is so bad that that's actually an insult to incontinent people.
Jeff, because you're an expert on immigration, I was going to ask you what your solution is, but then I watched those clips again of Joe Biden, And I realized these are not gaffes anymore. This is just the status quo of his behavior. It's kind of scary. I even feel bad making jokes about it now.
Yeah, it's hard to make it funny.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. Like, you just watch it and you go, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's the leader.
Yeah, I know.
He's like JFK, like, we choose to go to the moon. You know, you get jacked up. You get hard watching that. You watch this, you just go, this is what we're doing?
Yeah.
It's very embarrassing.
It's very embarrassing.
Also, what is the plan? Just don't talk about it?
Yeah.
At least we have a position here.
Yeah.
But then you ask people like, well, you know, you when you go to a country, you should probably follow the rules to like get into that country. I can't just go to Australia. And they go, hey, don't say that.
Yeah.
Hey, what if these guys beat up a cop? They're not even citizens. They go, whoa, racist. No. Well, what's the plan? Like, can we talk about it? Like, there has to be some.
No, you can't talk about this stuff with. I mean, the progressives are going to be like, look, you're not part of the cult. The cult is the one and only true way. If you don't follow the cult teachings, you're wrong. There's nothing to talk about. It's like saying the sky isn't blue. Oh, I walked outside and the sky wasn't blue. Oh, you're stupid. Shut up. We can't, you know. To them, this is evidently true, that you have to have an open border to let people come here, and they're allowed to assault anybody they want to because they've had a hard life in their home country.
Other side.
Yeah, the only side they're concerned with are for the people coming in. It's the most bizarre thing. A border actually has two sides, to it,
Right.
inside and out. And like, if you bring up your concerns, you're a bigot.
Right, just by talking about it, like that's pretty scary also, and not very funny that we can't even talk about it without being like, this is you're problematic.
Aaron, I apologize for that. What do you think not impeaching Mayorkas is a big deal? I mean, it's like, I guess life goes on. Is this a big defeat?
No, it's not, because one, they'll be able to bring it up again, and I think the least surprising part of this is that like it's taking a while to get things done in Congress. That's the same song and dance. I worked on the Hill for years. I haven't been there for a few years, but really not much has changed. The way we make the change here is we elect somebody else to the White House. Yeah. The reason we are facing 3.5 to 4 times more border crossings in a 2-year period under Joe Biden than we did under Donald Trump is because of Joe Biden, let alone the 90 executive actions that he took away from the Trump administration purely because he said, oh, Donald Trump, that's a no for me. Building the border wall, he stopped doing that. Part of that border wall was also like dam infrastructure in Texas, and he was like, good luck, everybody. Like, everything he did has been bad and has only made the border worse. People.
Yeah, so you see, we dam rivers and lakes and stuff for a reason, right? It's not like we're arbitrarily deciding, oh, let's put up a dam here to block the border. No, there's reasons for these things to exist, and it just so happens to be that some of this stuff is part of the border. Nope, don't care about that. No, you're not allowed to do that because the border has to remain open, right? We can't have technological progress, can't have improved agriculture or improved water flow. No, can't have any of that stuff. Because, got to leave the border open. Idiots.
People want to see this end. You can't be shocked that it's going to take Congress a while to get this right. You need a leader in the White House who's willing to take action to get it right, because it's clear between Biden and Mayorkas, no one is going to close the southern border of the United States.
Yeah, he would rather forgive student loans. Yeah. And he will do, and has done that. And
catch and release people in the United States.
Yeah.
You enter the country illegally, hey, you got a one-way ticket. You beat an NYPD cop, you might make it to California. But that is the tenet of their policy right now. The core of their policy is, no.
Yeah. You know, Kat, I think I was caught off guard watching Biden again.
Yes. I think we all know now why he's not doing the Super Bowl interview.
Yes.
All right, yeah, so Biden is not going to be doing a Super Bowl interview this year, and that's like an easy interview. We're like, oh, what team you rooting for? Oh, what you snacking on over here? Oh, what are you looking forward to the halftime show? But no, he's not going to do that because his brain is gone. He has not enough intellectual capacity to handle even that.
I mean, it's bad.
That's serious. Okay, if that's your audition tape, what gig could you get?
No,
right?
no.
Like, you're like
Grandpa?
just 3. It's only 3 minutes. There's no only in that 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, like the Super Bowl is supposed to be fun, I hear, and like
that was grim.
Allegedly.
That's like he looks miserable.
They
He
wouldn't let
looks
you work
so
at Apple.
sad.
But why is
Right.
I mean, the thing is, why isn't that clip everywhere? Like, I'm pleading ignorance. That is the first time I
Me
saw
too.
it.
Oh, no,
First time
I've seen it.
I mean, this is the first time because they all look the same. You're like, oh, you know what's crazy is that I don't care what party you're from, what you believe. Whenever you're watching Joe Biden speak, everyone watches him like this. like what's gonna happen? Like that's not like how you should watch them. Be like,
That's not true, Kat. I don't watch him that way. I watch him with bated breath, waiting for him to say something stupid, because I know he's going to.
and you're just like heartbroken and scared the whole time.
Yeah.
This isn't normal. None of this is normal. It's disturbing. He's so sad.
Yeah, it's
like this. He shouldn't have to do that.
This guy every day, it's so normal to us now. We just go, oh, that's how he talks.
Yeah, but at
it
least
is normal.
I thought he was just splitting the diff. Like he's got a 10-minute speech, but if he combines it all together, he can get it done in 3 minutes. I thought it was just I'll say 3 or 4 things at the exact same time, which is a higher level of thinking.
That's true.
Which, we just don't get it. So.
Yes.
My bad, Mr. President. I'll work on my Just the incident with the Border Patrol officers and their horses, his ass should have been out of there.
Yeah.
And this is on Republicans. This is why we need term limits. They care more about getting reelected than doing the right thing. His lackadaisical effort with the border, with the way he treats the men and women who protect the border. How about the mothers who came to Congress? He didn't show up because he was, quote, in a meeting with Mexico. You should have brought their asses too. But it goes back to the same thing. Republicans are full of and this proves it. They say they want change. Who cares? If I know that being a leader and doing the right thing and getting this man out here who's failed, and there's no one can argue that he hasn't, means I might not get reelected, but I did my job that was better for my people, fine. Next man up. So be it.
Yeah, that's the way you should look at public office. You go in and you do the best job that you can possibly do for the people. That's it. Whether they like it or not, you try to do what's best. But it's a popularity contest now. It's ridiculous. Joe Biden got elected to office, even though he's a sexist and he's a racist and he's all these different things. And before the woke start coming, he's not. Yeah, okay. I put up videos about his claims that women are being held back by the patriarchy. And he's the guy who said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't blackjack. So you tell me, I don't know what to tell you. Women have equal rights. Under the law, you got equal rights.
I did my part. But this says more. We always want to go at the left and say when they're doing this, this says more about us and the spineless people that supposedly are conservatives that know that this man has cost money, has ruined lives. There was people that couldn't leave their homes because everyone thought they were whipping black people. And think about that. And you're serving for pay. And that's how you're being treated. And that's just one. Didn't show up for the moms. Then it was perfectly fine being like border agents were letting people drown in the water.
Yes.
It didn't matter what horrible thing that he said, but you just didn't want them to come back at you. Yeah. Turn in your little pin and your tie and go home.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so that's the end of that. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. And here's your palate cleanser. Enjoy.